So you guys cannot get mad at me today. I'm wearing the corn shirt. My 2019/2020 NFL playoff prediction. The playoffs are set, and it's time to do the annual triggering of almost everybody who watches this when I don't pick their favorite team to win the Super Bowl. Now, you might look below and notice that there's a lot of dislikes. Why don't we keep raising that dislike bar? Let's try to get this video to 5,000 dislikes, because no matter what, people are going to get mad if I don't pick their favorite team to win the Super Bowl. So let's do it. Screw it. Let's actually try to get 10,000 dislikes. Let's make that happen. Now, take today's video with a grain of salt. I'm a moron. I'm a self-proclaimed moron. So more than likely, these idiotic predictions are going to be idiotic. But I'm going to do my best and give you my honest opinion on who I think is going to win this year's Super Bowl. Now, one last disclaimer, I'm recording this video ahead of time before the 49ers and Seahawks play their game tonight. So by the time you're watching this, you know who won that game, and you know how the seeding ended up after that game. And at this point in time, the 49ers are the favorite. So I'm going to assume for today's prediction and how the seeding is made for today's video, which will unpack some of the matchups on the NFC side of things, I'm going to presume that the 49ers do win tonight. So if they don't win, I apologize. All it will do is affect some of the first round matchups. But ultimately, in my predictions, it really, at the end of the day, isn't going to affect anything. So comment question for today's video: who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? I might come back after the playoffs and actually do a reaction to my playoff predictions. If you guys want to see that, well, I told you guys to dislike the video. Okay, if we get 10,000 dislikes in this video, I'll make a reaction. Number 1 to my preseason predictions, and number 2 to my playoff predictions. So 10,000 dislikes will make that happen. But hopefully you guys do enjoy. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new and turn on the notification bell if you haven't. Extremely important that you do hurry up and subscribe, because if and only if we do hit 500k by Christmas, my Christmas giveaway is going to be up from 3 Xbox One X's and 3 PS4 Pros to 4 Xbox One X's and 4 PS4 Pros. So make sure to take that millisecond that does take to click that subscribe button if you have it. And also, the giveaway is now active over on my Instagram account, link in the description box below. You can go over there. Last post gives you all the details on how to enter. You only have a few more days to enter, so make sure to go over to my Instagram and take part in that giveaway. And with that said, gonna make this short, simple, and sweet. Time to get into my 2019-2020 NFL playoff predictions. We'll start off by doing the entire AFC first, and obviously starting in the wild card round. So the two matchups in the AFC side of things, the wild card round. First of all, the number 3 Patriots hosting the number 6 Tennessee Titans, and then the number 4 Texans hosting the Buffalo Bills. Starting off, Pats and Titans. I know I'm a Titans fan. I know I am, but guys, I genuinely do think the Titans will beat the Patriots. Why? The Patriots, they're banged up. You've seen how sloppy they've played the last few weeks. My God, dude, they just lost to the Dolphins, man. They lost to the Dolphins at home. So how can you, in my opinion, the best way going about predictions like this is using as much logic as you possibly can. You can't logically tell me that you really genuinely think the Patriots can beat the Titans the week after they lost to the Dolphins. Their offense just looks anemic, and hopefully Adoree Jackson will be coming back for the Titans. The Titans secondary kind of has got shredded the last few weeks, but they've had a lot of injuries. Hopefully Adoree Jackson coming back, well, it should help a lot out in the secondary. So the defense should be better if he does come back. And even if he doesn't come back, I still do think they find a way to get a win. If you look, most teams that beat the Titans throughout the year after Ryan Tannehill became the starting quarterback had a huge number 1 receiver that our secondary couldn't cover, aka Michael Thomas, aka DeAndre Hopkins. And the Patriots just don't have that, especially with Julian Edelman being banged up and not really being that productive the last couple weeks. And I genuinely feel like the Titans have some things up their sleeves that could really mess with the Patriots defense that also is kind of banged up. And not to mention last year, the Titans played the Super Bowl champion Patriots and beat them by like 20-something points. So I think this year, the Titans are going to get it done, advance into the divisional round. I'm not going to give a score prediction, but I do think they will get a win over the New England Patriots and what will probably be Tom Brady's last game as a Patriot, which was absolutely freaking mental. Now, the other wild card game, the Bills and the Texans. The Bills will be playing host here, and this is a tough one. Especially with the fact that we're not sure what's going to happen with the Texans in terms of some of the players coming back. J.J. Watt might even be back. He hasn't played all year long, so that would be a huge upgrade, obviously, to this defense, not having him all year long and having him immediately in the playoffs. But we're not really certain. I just feel like the Bills, the way they play close games almost every single week, I don't think they got blown out all year long. They just play sloppy offense, sloppy defense, but find ways to win games close. By sloppy, I mean their defense is always extremely well. The scores end up sloppy, like 13-10, 17-14. I think it is going to be a lot more low scoring than people think, But I think the Bills are going to get a very, very close win. Josh Allen bringing them into the divisional round. Next, we have the Ravens hosting the Titans in the divisional round. 1 seed versus the 6 seed, and this is where it ends for the Titans. Although I do think this would be a little bit closer than what a lot of people think, but the Ravens, they're literally unstoppable. Nobody stopped this team. So they lost to the Browns early on in the season, and it's not going to change here. The Titans' defense is probably the weak point of the team right now. The offense in the Titans is insane. They'll score points against the Ravens. Although the Ravens' defense is incredible, but still, I think the Ravens are just going to outscore the Titans. It'll be like probably a 40 to 28 type game, but I think the Ravens advance into the AFC Championship game. On the other side, the Chiefs and the Bills. Once again, I think this is where the Bills' magical season ends. I think Patrick Mahomes and that offense can be a little bit too much. Although the Chiefs' defense is missing some players and is pretty much being, and they've definitely given up some points this year. But I think but just in this instance, playing at home, I give the edge to Patrick Mahomes, the reigning MVP, over Josh Allen. Although I think Josh Allen, this is probably a game where he has 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns probably. He'll probably have a big game, but I think the Chiefs get it done, get another win here. Their offense, even though the Bills' defense is great, their offense will be a little bit too much for the Bills. And I just don't think the Bills' offense is going to be able to keep up with them. I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think, but I do think, I know this is not really uncommon or anything, but I do think AFC Championship game will be against number 1 and 2 seed Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this will be a matchup for the ages. 2 young superstars at the quarterback position in a conference championship game. Who is probably going to be the MVP this year, Lamar Jackson, and the reigning MVP last year, Patrick Mahomes, going head-to-head. The Ravens will have home field advantage. And the problem here for the Chiefs is the fact that statistically they have one of the worst run defenses in all the NFL. And it's pretty much self-explanatory, dudes. The Ravens, obviously, if you guys have been paying attention whatsoever this year to the NFL, Ravens' rushing attack is literally like nothing we have ever seen. And if we have seen it, it's been a really long time. So I think the Chiefs' defense get gashed. I do think, obviously, Patrick Mahomes and company is going to put up points. But the Ravens, this team, I don't know if anybody can stop them. I do have the Ravens beating the Chiefs in a pretty high-scoring game here to advance to the first Super Bowl since the Joe Flacco, Ray Lewis era. AFC done. How anticlimactic. I picked the 1 seed to win the AFC, but you just can't tell me the Ravens are going to lose on the AFC side of things. It might change in the Super Bowl, but I do think the Ravens get it done and do advance to the Super Bowl. Now, on to the NFC. The 2 matchups for the wild card round will be the Saints. In this scenario, that's if the 49ers do beat the Seahawks. First round will be number 3 seed Saints playing host to the 6 seed Vikings. Now, the other wild card game, it'll be the number 4 seed Eagles playing host to the number 5 seed Seahawks. So first of all, Saints, Vikings. The Saints right now are one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Since that loss against the 49ers where nobody expected it to be a 50 to 48 game, they have been unstoppable. Even that game, obviously, their offense was unstoppable against the 49ers defense that is one of the best in the league. They scored 40-something points on them. So this offense right now is literally toying around with NFL defenses. Last few weeks, they took their starters out by the into the third quarter. So it's absolutely insane how good this team is right now. And if you guys are familiar with playoffs in general when it comes to professional sports, pretty much it really comes down to what team gets hot at the right time. And I think the Saints have everything clicking when they need it to. Everybody's healthy when they need it to. Now, don't discredit the Vikings. A very good team. Dalvin Cook's been kind of banged up. I don't know if he's actually going to play. But even if he does, I still think the Saints at home in the Superdome get a pretty comfortable win and advance into the divisional round. Now, on the flip side, we have the Eagles and Seahawks. Credit to the Eagles, making it to the playoffs, winning that division with all the freaking injuries that they've had. Literally, in the game they played just about an hour ago at this point against the Giants, dude, they had players on the sideline lining up to get in the medical tent. That's how bad it was. There was literally a line to get in the medical tent. So for them to make it to the playoffs has been incredible, but it's going to end here. The Seahawks, they're way too good. Although the running attack is going to be a question mark. They have their number 1 and number 2 running back starting the season. Throughout the season, they're now injured. Marshawn Lynch comes in. That's going to be fun. So they really are going to have to rely on Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson is one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL for a reason. He'll be able to carry this team to a pretty comfortable win over the Eagles and advance into the next round. Now, divisional round, we have the number 3 Saints going to Green Bay to take on the Green Bay Packers. And on the other side, the number 1 49ers, if they do win tonight in real life against the Seahawks, we'll be playing them in a rematch in San Francisco. So starters, we are going to go with the Saints and Packers. Like, I know the Packers are a 2 seed, but they really don't scare me. Like, I'll even go as far to say if it was the Titans matched up against the Packers somehow in the Super Bowl, I would be extremely confident in the Titans' chances of winning that game. If you look at the Packers and their schedule, the teams they've lost to, it's hilarious. Like, they got all this way, the 3 teams they lost to, they almost lost to the Lions with freaking David Blau at quarterback. There's nothing about them scares me, and I already mentioned, it's not even just that, it's, like, obviously Aaron Rodgers is going to be there to play home field advantage. It's freaking Aaron Rodgers, obviously, he's not going to probably have an off game, but the Saints, they're too hot. And with the Packers not being, in my opinion, as good as what their record says, I think the Saints get I would say even a pretty comfortable win here in advance into the NFC Championship game. Now, the 49ers and Seahawks, this game would be in San Francisco. I think they're going to win tonight. That wouldn't change in the playoffs. Once again, I think it's a big thing here. They got to keep in mind, their game earlier in the season went into overtime, but that was with a healthy backfield. And now they don't have a healthy backfield. Josh Gordon, he is now out, suspended once again. If I think they're going to win tonight, it's not going to change in the playoffs. So, once again, actually not the 1 versus 2 seed. It's the 1 versus 3 seed in the NFC Championship game. Niners, Saints, Jimmy G, Drew Brees, the best offense arguably in the league versus the best defense in the league, which is crazy because it's a rematch of a game earlier in the year where it was, what was it really, like 50-48? It was something crazy like that. Not sure if that was the exact score, but still mental score. Once again, since that game was so close, it just comes down to what team gets hot at the right time. And with the Saints, in this instance, having to play in the wild card round, playing an extra game, they're going to keep that momentum up, in my opinion. And 49ers have kind of been like up and down the last like 5 or so weeks of the season, getting some close wins and losing the first few games of the year. I just think I give the edge here. I know it's going to be San Francisco home field, but I give the edge to the veteran QB. He's been here before, Drew Brees. I think it's going to be extremely close like the last one was, but I do think Drew Brees and the Saints win the NFC to set up for a Ravens-Saints Super Bowl. New school versus old school. Lamar Jackson versus Drew Brees. MVP versus the all-time leader in passing touchdowns. This one's going to be tough. Like, literally, I have no idea who to pick here. Like, I've thought about this. I'm, like, extremely confident in my picks up to this point, but I have no idea. I think I'm going to go Ravens. I think I'm going to give the edge to the MVP. I think the Ravens are the more complete team, and their offense is just so dynamic. I mean, maybe they find somebody. Like, you got to keep in mind, they did lose to the Browns earlier. The Browns had a day. Well, they found a way to stop Lamar Jackson, but nobody's been able to do so since then. But can there be a team in the playoffs to find a way to formulate a defense to be able to stop Lamar Jackson? We'll have to see. But, like, their defense is solid. Their offense is unstoppable. I think just in all phases of the game, they're just a more complete team. It's going to be extremely close, and this is the hardest game, obviously, to pick here. But I do think I'm going to ride the Ravens' coattail. And I'm telling you, there's no logical reason not to pick the Baltimore Ravens. Maybe you could say Lamar Jackson's never been there. This is the first time in the playoffs. He's only a second-year player, but still, he's just been so poised all year long. The team's healthy. I think for sure Ravens, Super Bowl. Go ahead, dislike the video. Don't forget, 10,000 dislikes.